Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Residents of Horror Save Room podcast. I am your host, Kevin. This week, Ashley is not here, and this is my co-host.
Well,
I'm pointing to you, Jacob. I'm pointing to you. Even though I can't see you, I'm pointing to you.
jeez. Geez, Scoob. Yes, I am Jacob Christensen.
As your
you happy with
popping.
this? Oh, I gotta get you an image without Ashley in it. Whatever. Easy peasy.
Yes. For nefarious reasons.
Yes.
No, just things. Life has happened. Life has happened to all of us,
okay.
I think. And YouTube being part of that reason as to why life is happening. So
Yes,
that's what this podcast is gonna be about.
This podcast is gonna be like, what the heck has been going on
In
a technical
life.
scale?
Yeah.
We're gonna give you a peek behind the kimono a little bit here.
Kimono, I like that. Okay, it sounds sophisticated. The kimono. Oh, I hear a drink.
Ah, yeah, it's a good drink.
Oh, yeah. Here, let me grab my glass of water. There we are. There's glass here, too. Shall we talk like sophisticated men for like 5 seconds, huh? We sip on our martinis.
Yes, quite.
Yes.
what?
The stocks, the economy,
Oh,
not in my favor currently.
I say, I heard you had a run-in with Hillary earlier today.
I did have a run-in with Hillary twice. Once the branch knocked off and fell on my neighbor's car. Didn't scrape it up too hard. And then I went in for a spot of tea, came back out, and then another branch landed on my mother's vehicle.
Oh, double branching from Hillary.
Yes,
the
double
audacity.
branching. She came back, she was like, oh, you weren't satisfied. Okay, here's another one.
Oh, I tell you what. Indubitably.
All right.
Is that good?
And sip.
And see. Just to date this episode, so you're in the middle of
Hurricane Hillary.
Hurricane Hillary. Jeez.
It's
and
been,
you had not one but two branches fall on cars.
Yeah, in my parents' yard. It was very interesting. I may or may not show pictures. I don't know. We'll see. It
Blur out
depends.
your dad's face. Put Master Chief's head on it.
Without faces. Yeah, Master Chief helmets on everybody. I don't know. I'll find something put over that's fun over the license plates.
Yeah.
It'll be just a picture of Angry Wesker.
Oh, yeah. Angry
To keep
Wesker.
in with the Residents of Horror theme, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Crash!
Yeah.
That's exactly what the branch said as it crashed down on the car. Crash!
And you were like over there with the tree at the car, like Chris in a volcano. You're trying to uppercut it. Your dad's like, what are you doing? It's like, no, Dad, I got it.
I got it.
Here. Just gotta give this
Tapping
couple
A
more.
harder.
It's like, yeah. So, I guess, in all seriousness, we've been running into some issues, and I guess you already addressed some of this in your last review, right? Like one-off review.
The couples play. I
Couples Play.
addressed it a little bit formally, just because things were happening in our personal lives, and also just like YouTube things have been happening with our videos, and I think this is a good opportunity for us to express our. I don't know if it's irritatedness or just disappointment with YouTube. How would you word it?
Disappointment.
Not disappointment?
No.
How would you word it then?
I can hear myself. This is weird.
Oh, yeah. Is it?
I would say frustration. Yeah, that's the word I'm gonna pick.
That actually, you know what? Yeah, that's probably.
Because I'm not annoyed. I'm frustrated. So I guess we should really just get into the nitty gritty of like the technical stuff with YouTube, and then we'll roll into like some of the other stuff later. Does that sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So I guess I should start with like the video in question. So back on my old YouTube channel, I made kind of a pseudo pilot episode for what the show I do now, and it was a review of Godzilla Final Wars.
Which, not trying to be mean, but cutting in, it is re-uploaded on Rumble, and I will put the description. I mean, I will put the link in the description.
Oh, so, cool. Oh, I appreciate that.
It exists somewhere on the internet. So
that's nice to know. Oh, okay.
Yes. Well, I sent that to you directly. I don't know if you remember, but a lot of things were happening. So
yeah, I don't think I got the link. But so long story short is I had a video. Did you wait? I got a question for you actually. I just reminded. Did you put up the OG version or the edited down version?
I put up the OG version and I sent it to you, and your answer was a day later. It said cool.
Oh, so I did see it.
Yeah. I'll resend. I mean, it'll be in the description of this, so you'll be able to see it. And if you need me to send it to you after this again, because I know you don't have a Rumble login or anything like that, so that's fine. The reason I made the Rumble, just going into that for a second, is for whatever stuff YouTube's just gonna ding us on, I'm just gonna upload there. Of course, all the videos that we have currently are on Rumble currently as well. So if you are somebody that appreciates Rumble or likes Rumble more than YouTube, you're probably listening to this on Rumble currently, if you are. But our stuff is there, and there are episodes, I guess. I don't know. We'll see moving into the future of what YouTube will decide to keep and let stay.
Yeah, because now we know YouTube, it could be like 2 or 3 years after we uploaded a thing, and then YouTube could all of a sudden say, sorry, this counts now. And so it's just like, yeah, everything on the internet, especially on YouTube, not as permanent as you might be led to believe. I just really want to underline that. It's just like if you have anybody or know anybody that's just like, oh, it's on the internet, it'll be there forever and ever. That's just not true. It's just not true. There's a lot of things that because they're on the internet, they're gone forever now, and no one will ever be able to have access to them ever again. And I'm not just talking about my personal videos, because like they're still on YouTube. They're just locked away in a place that people can't watch them. But long story short, no, it's just like getting back to the actual thing that happened. It's just like I uploaded this video, it got taken down. I shrugged my shoulders, started making my show, had no problems, everything was great. But then everybody was starting to tell me nice, like, no, YouTube's cool now. They won't try to take your videos down now because it's an actual review, you know? And then it's just like, you know what? Yeah, I'll try it. And I tried it, and it's just like, yeah, you just gotta cut these 2 little things out. I cut them out, and it's just like what it was asking me to do was a lot less than what it used to get it to be uploaded. So I was like, okay, I think I can make this compromise. I made the compromise, and then it went up for about a week on the current channel.
A week and a half.
A week and a half, and then it went like pretty much long enough for everybody that really wanted to see that again after watching it originally got to see it again. And probably quite a bit of new people too, but people got this. The important people that were going to go see it saw it. I think.
You current people are not important.
No, not unless you go to. But
Jacob's Patreon. No, I'm just kidding.
Jeez. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, that's the biggest bummer. Like, if I made a video, posted on YouTube and made it only accessible through my Patreon, through a link, now YouTube could lock that away and stop my Patreons from having access to a video project I did. That's a pretty big bummer for me, especially as like a group of people that are
paying for that content.
Well, they're not paying for it, you know.
Well, if you had that there, though.
It's an access thing, and it's just like, look, I'd give you access if I could, but it's just like, because to be honest, after a person pays for access to the link, they can copy that link and hold it on forever and ever, and even share it, and I wouldn't care. I mean, it's your link. You know, it's just like, you got access, you have access. Do whatever with that access as you can, or want to, or feel like, and that includes sharing. I am a pro-sharer person. I don't think you should be sharing everything. I think it's really important what content you're doing that with. But as for my content, I give you permit. If you have exclusive access to something, I'm giving you official permission right now. You can share it.
Official permission?
Yeah.
I like permission more than permission. Permission?
Yeah,
that's a new word.
Only Jacob can give you permission. No other human being in the world can do that.
Man, that needs to be on a shirt. Just so
Yeah, I'm going off on a little bit of rabbit trail, but long story
No, it's
short
fine.
is, YouTube screwed over that video when trying to upload it, and so it kind of made me melancholy about the whole thing, and it felt like they were robbing you guys of a week of content because we liked posting at least one video a week, and I was just like, well, it was there for a while, but now it's gone, so it's just there's like a hole now, and it bugs me. We haven't had any trouble with the regular show I'm doing.
Well,
except for
we've had one little hiccup, but apparently it's just not accessible in Japan.
Yeah, and I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest. First of all, I don't think we have a lot of. Okay, I'm two sides about it. On one side, I don't think we have a lot of Japanese, like, audience, right? Like, if anybody's Japanese that is watching this, this channel, please let us know, because that would be fascinating to me to learn that. But then also, there is a video you can't watch unless you have a VPN. A VPN fixes this problem, guys. I don't know if they told you
Our
guys.
sponsor. No, just kidding. I wish we were sponsored.
Yeah, but seriously, so there is an episode, which it's made me want to.
It's called The Grip.
The Grip,
which is the beginning of season 2.
Yeah, episode 1, season 2 of my show. And the thing is, it's like, so it's not available in the Japan region, and that bugs me. But it's like that because of how the copyright works on the opening of one of the stories I did, which was a what's it called? Ultra Q. I was the third story I did in that, and because of just that one, I don't even think it's the story in its entirety. I think it's just the visual opening sequence I used, which is already on YouTube, so I don't know what that's about. But because of that, it's just like, oh yeah, it can't be shown in Japan for copyright reasons, and I'm like, okay, well, at least the video some people can see it, and if you're a Japanese person with a VPN, you can see it. But I don't know how to feel about that, honestly. How did you take it?
So this happened a couple days, or actually a day after me trying to sort out, okay, what needed to be fixed with the Final Wars review.
It pretty much said cut out all of the footage of it.
Well, it came... Okay, so the first thing I got was a day before, and it was a message from you that pretty much said, hey, where's my video?
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? And then I went and checked, and then I checked our email and saw, I'm like, oh, well, there's a thing here that says there's a couple seconds of footage, and I didn't think too much of it at first. I was like, what's 30 seconds of footage? And I was like, okay, some of this had been repeated already. I was just like, well, I guess it just doesn't like this segment being repeated. So, I put a blur over it. And then I didn't know how to resubmit it for review, because there's no like button that says resubmit for review or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, I'll figure that out tomorrow. Went to bed, woke up the next day, and then I saw the other video plus something else added to the Final Wars video. So the Grip video got added like about a minute to it of footage in there, and it's just the beginning of your review for Ultra Q.
Yeah.
And I was already kind of annoyed just because I'm like, so the other video is blocked, like completely blocked, and then not only did I add a permanent edit in there of the 30 seconds they wanted out, now we have a full minute at the beginning that they wanted out as well. And that was not just visual, because the first one was visual. The second one was visual and audio. And I'm like, well, that cuts out a lot of context of the introduction.
Not to mention, take note, and for people who, again, you can go to the other place and see the video now, but it was just like that. It's just like, guess what? There is only about a minute of the movie's actual audio in there, and that was just so I could get those voice lines to illustrate some jokes, because I do silly reviews. But the thing is,
it wanted to cut out is where you added the music part, and I think it was the music, but then it added the visual aspect to it.
Yeah.
So not
but,
just like all the cuts with the music as well.
So the thing is I thought I was pretty safe with the video because all of the music I use in that it's video game music, and all of the and the rest of it is just like, okay, you have none of the none of the original movie audio in there, my voice and video game music very quietly under that, except for those 2 songs that are so loud that it's just like, okay, you gotta listen really hard. But the thing is, it's just like I have all that stuff, and I'm just like, okay, am I breaking some kind of law here? Because YouTube doesn't elaborate on anything. YouTube is just like, there's a problem, and it's just like, can I know what the problem is so I can fix it? No, you cannot. And the thing is, it's like there are tools in place to point at places and say, hey, audio problem, hey, visual problem, copyright problem, things like that. And you know, that's helpful, but it's not helpful because I'm just like, okay, so you're copywriting everything, you're copywriting a version of the movie that is heavily cut up, right? And I'm talking over it, right? And this is a review. And then the thing that irks me is like, I'm scratching my head about it. I'm like, am I doing too much? And then I see other people doing other reviews, and I'm just like, they do way more. They have way more of the movie in their review than I do. And I'm just like, is audio, there a place, it makes me really wonder, is there like a Toho mailbox I'm supposed to walk up to and say, hey, I'm asking for permission to use this copyright material in my movie, and then pretty much, you know, every time I talk to somebody, it's just like, dude, it's in Creative Commons. You can, you know, you're legally allowed to do a review on a video, you know, and what I'm doing is pretty standard in the way I'm doing that. So and I'm like, yeah, but you know, sometimes I show this stuff for a butt of a joke, and it's just like, no, that's comedy. That's also covered in those laws. You're fine. And I'm just like, then what the heck is the problem here? And I still don't. I've talked to quote unquote experts, and they say, no, you don't got a problem. And I'm just like, okay, but YouTube. And they're like, I don't know anything about YouTube. Which makes me think YouTube is different or special in some kind of way, but I don't know. And then the fact that I guess you can just upload that video on a different video website and they just don't have a problem with it. Like, what makes that other website so special compared to YouTube? As the person who's actually on technical...
Like, it's more... I listen to like 1 or 2 people on there, and their thing is like all about not being censored. So I go over and I see it's like, okay, this is more like streamer live friendly type of stuff. That and Kick, K-I-C-K, not K-I-K, because I know people get confused about that, are more streamer friendly. But I was also finding like people that did like edgy stuff on YouTube were uploading their stuff there. And also people that were just like, hey, I want another avenue to post my videos on without even being censored or anything like that, or their content cut, would just upload there too. So that's what I was seeing about them. And I've skimmed through most of the content on there, and I'm like, okay, well, it's mostly like political, but there's like a good gaming section of live stuff. And then there's also like review stuff on there as well. So
which blows
things
my
that
mind.
we're in there as well. So I'm just like, well, you know, it's an avenue. So if, you know, they say, hey, you can't do that here, well, that's fine. We got another place. I originally was thinking about BitChute, but I was checking them out. They haven't really updated anything, and theirs is still a little on the chaotic side as far as organization. It kind of looks like, and no offense to BitChute, but it kind of looks a little bit more like Rumble is trying to keep up and not essentially be the quote-unquote Halo killer. It's just trying to keep up as far as being a platform that's going to create a revenue for creators and, you know, be also like, hey, if you want to say something that's either controversial or just, you know, have content that YouTube's just gonna ding you for because it's like, oh, it's copyright to us, then that can be your haven. So
Yeah, which, it's just like, if I'm, the thing is, it's just like, hey, if I'm like risking to break copyright law in some kind of way, I would like somebody to point me out, because I tried doing research, and pretty much, as far as I can tell, and the people I've talked to, they're all like, no, you're fine. You got no problems. But what it comes down to is I don't know anybody who knows anything about those laws and understands or is familiar with YouTube enough to tell me what the heck I'm doing wrong. And, because one of the things that keeps on happening is just like, I don't get it. What am I doing wrong? And people keep on telling me is it's like, well, you're not doing anything wrong. Like, straight up, it's like I talked to you about my friend who does the kaiju versus kaiju matchup battle videos, right? They have never, not once, and they have tons of footage of the monsters, right? Of from all the movies in there, and they say they have never, not once, have they ever run into any kind of copyright issue. Just never. And it's just like, huh. And it's not like they're a big channel or anything like that. But they got more than us. They got like a couple of thousand subscribers.
Hey, good for them.
Yeah.
Good
so,
them,
and
man.
I'm just like, yeah. And I'm one of them. And it's good stuff. But yeah, for me, it's just, I don't know. It's just head scratchy. It's head scratchy. I don't understand it. I have people in the business, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I ran into this problem. How do I fix it? And everybody else who I talk to that is in the YouTube game are just like, I don't know, never had that problem. It's very strange to me.
So, and something I'm really tempted to do about this, just because he has 2 full videos about the movie that you did, and both of those are longer in
who's
time
this?
span. Is Brandon's Cult movie reviews.
Brandon's Cult. Okay, yeah, we probably want to
we've shared. Yeah, we've seen him before, but I'm very tempted to find his email on there and just email him and just ask him about, like, hey, did you run into problems? This is what we ran into, and apparently people that dabble in like Toho content tend to run into, specifically with Toho. And was there any issues, or what did you have to sign something, or just let them know? Is my question for that. So, I'm sure he has an email on there that I could approach. But
so pretty much like what this conversation really adds up to is 2 guys who uploaded a video onto YouTube, and then YouTube slapped that out of our hands, and we're just standing here shrugging, not knowing what we did wrong. If we did something wrong, again, people tell me I didn't do anything wrong, and the video should just go up, and I should fight the copyright claims. But I'm just like, I really don't feel I don't have enough I don't have enough legal knowledge to be certain enough I actually want to, because as soon as I do, it becomes a legal action. As soon as I say, hey, YouTube, I can do this, that's me saying without a doubt in my mind that I can do it. And I don't have enough knowledge to know that I can. So if I'm a victim of some kind of plagiary or something, whatever you call it,
plagiarism?
Yeah. It's just like somebody fake.
I don't think so, because you're not selling it as your own.
Well, that's the other thing. There's no money involved in what I'm doing. I'm just asking for people's time.
So some of the things
weird.
that I've run into, at least, I want to say Couples Play 3.
Oh, really?
I threw in a Disney song. It was the Winnie the Pooh thing when I was making fun of making Winnie the Pooh jokes. And I threw, I showed just Ashley a freeze frame of her, and then I had it slowly pushed in, I think. And then I was playing the Winnie the Pooh theme with some of the footage in the background of that. And I got dinged for that, but mostly for hey, this is Disney content. And also I got dinged for the part where there's a brief moment of Mulan music. And they said, hey,
so when
this
you say
is just,
dinged?
so this isn't, not strict or blocked or anything like that.
Okay, you just got it's
hey,
you can't monetize this, right?
Yeah, you can't monetize this now.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I didn't
and I'm
know
like,
that.
You weren't monetizing?
Everything else up until then, Yeah, and up until then, I haven't had any issues, but now it's just like, okay, anything Disney related, just automatically a no. You know, and I almost had this issue where I almost did something as a joke, I think, at the 4th episode, but I was just like, what's a better song that gets this point across? And I found, like, the TF2 Spy theme. And I'm like, oh, this is just as good.
Oh, yeah, it is. Excellent choice, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. So I was like, okay, two things, and also in the same breath of that episode, I also added a song that's been memed to death of it's a Godzilla song, and I threw it in there just for like a little quick montage, and I'm like, oh shoot, it's Toho. I don't know how they would ding this. Like, would they just make me mute a full minute? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm not going to chance it. So I threw in the SpongeBob camping song there just because I'm like, I'm doing Call of Duty camping at this point. I might as well make fun of myself for camping there and just using Ashley just because she's in a suit of armor as bait for all these Ganados.
That got me off guard. But the thing is like I had plans. Like one of my things, I was like, hey Kevin, if I really get into the groove of making things, I'd really like to make like a whole bunch, like do this video, that video, and stuff like that. And as soon as you came by to me and said, hey Jacob, we're not just doing creepy stuff, we'd also like to do some weird and silly stuff too, I got excited because it allows me to talk about a lot of the Godzilla stuff and Toho things. But that was the problem, and now I've had nothing but bad experiences with exclusively Toho in a way that I'm just like, look, I wanted to do a video where I compared the original Japanese Godzilla version of Godzilla and the American version of Godzilla. I know other people have made that video, but I wanted to make my version of that video. And now
Sorry,
I'm just
talking
like,
about the 2014 versus the 1954 film?
No. I mean the originals. Like,
Oh, so the 1998 and the 54 film? Okay. I would like to see a video on that personally, but it's just like, I don't know who's going to strike what. I feel like for all the American 1998 footage, that's a TriStar thing. If they're even still, I don't know if they're still around or if they got bought out. I feel like you'd be okay on that. Long story
short is I just wanted to compare versions of these movies, and other people have probably done very good essays. Well, I say probably. I know I've seen them. Other people have been done very good jobs with those kind of videos already. It doesn't need to be made. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, but I wanted to do my take on it. And now, because of my relationship with this company, I'm going to call them, well, they're not a company. They're a studio. Because of my troubles with that studio, I can't in good conscience go through the trouble of going through 2 to 3 weeks of work to upload a video that I don't know if people are actually going to see.
And what's sad about this is it's not like we're taking anything away from them, we're just reviewing it.
Yeah.
And that's fair game here in America. I guess I don't know if it's an international law thing. Something like that, but
I even like let's see, this was last month, I think it was after I uploaded the first episode of season 2 of that stuff, and I had a friend, right, and they were like, man, that last video you did was so amazing, I can't wait for you to do more Godzilla stuff. And it was because he got excited about that because he saw the Ultra Q episode I did, and he was like, yeah, I want to see you do more of that stuff. And I'm just like, well, get ready not to see that stuff, because every single
bums me out, because I wanted to see that stuff too, and I thought it was a nice little segue
because of the
into
problems, because despite it only not being able to be viewed in Japan, that's the whole video that isn't viewable in Japan. And I get it. Like, it's just like, oh, what Japanese person is watching my content, right? Is the question that's got thrown out there. And I'm like, I don't think it's fair for me to bar that content intentionally by doing stuff. So long story short is, no, I am not going to be doing more Ultra Q stuff. I might make videos about Ultra Q by themselves. That way I don't have to cut out like 2 stories just because one of them isn't allowed, you know?
which bugs me because it's just like, well,
So the
I
Ultra
mean,
Q
it's
will
more
not-
content, and I mean, we've discussed how you're going to do this, which I'm kind of about, but I still hate the fact that it's just like we have to cut a whole segment out just because it gets barred from a different country,
Region,
or even to the point where it's just like, no, we're just gonna block your video, and there's no guarantee whether or not that's going to happen or not.
Well, and the thing is, like, because the thing is, it's like, it could happen at any time. Like, some line somewhere can get moved to some other place, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, hey, you know these 3 reviews you did about movies or television shows that came out in the 90s? Well, one of them got copyrighted, is now streaming on Netflix, and because of that people all of a sudden care about this, so the whole video has to be cut out of being viewed. That's going to happen. That's just going to happen
really
to our
just
stuff.
Stupid. Just like, I'm thinking about, like, okay, currently, I think it has like 2 more years.
Because somebody arbitrarily decides that this is more important right now.
Yeah,
And that's really what
it
it is.
I think the rights of this particular product, have at least 2 more years before they go on AMC Plus, but actually 3. But like Better Call Saul, Walking Dead, and Breaking Bad are all currently on Netflix till they get their rights back. And it's just like, well, what happens to the multiple tons and tons of essays, like hour-long videos, talking about these things?
The memes.
The memes. Like, can we not have memes either? Like a meme compilation?
They can just move that line. Like, it depends. As soon as the rights get into the particular people's hands, and if they're like, we don't like the memes, all of a sudden the memes are bad because they said so. And it's just like...
and then it's just like, okay, well, we can't watch them on YouTube. Good luck trying to find them on Twitter, specifically certain ones.
Can you imagine all of a sudden some company buys Nickelodeon and then decides, you know what? SpongeBob on the internet, we don't like how the fans are interpreting this. So they copyright strike all the memes and all of the clip shows and all of the random compilations, all that stuff all of a sudden gone because somebody decided that. And you go like, no, Jacob, that can never happen because memes follow under yada, 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 yada. It's protected. It's just like, it doesn't matter because these websites are preemptively taking these legal, because it's outside of legality, right?
Oh yeah.
People
and
like
even,
YouTube are taking these things into account,
Channel
doing
Awesome.
these things.
Like just looking at Channel Awesome and Doug Walker and his stuff where like he had that spat with Universal where he's just like, hey, they keep dinging my entire video of reviewing their film from like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're just going to like start doing skits about their stuff and not show any of the footage. To where it's like, well, I see people now it's like, oh, it feels like it's lighting up. And now he's even going back to where it's like he shows a good amount of footage to a point where it's like, okay, then he adds his little skits in. And then it's just like, oh, okay, well, it kind of looks like it went back to normal. But it's just like, okay, so...
Literally, the only way I can protect my reviews is if I do not have any footage of theirs or any of their sound in there, and I just recreate reenactments of everything. That's the only way I can legally protect it. Because the thing is like, I say legally, but the thing is like YouTube, when they take something down, like the reason they demonetize or private your video is not because they're legally required to do so. It's they do it so they don't have to take a legal action.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if our viewers want a view of like what that would be like, if you go over to Jacob's channel, which I'll link down below, Zephyr Haskell, and you watch Mogo sketches, there should be like 4 or 5 of them in there. That's a good idea of what that might look like moving forward, which is a cool idea. But it depends if you want to do that. I should show you
because I have a this year updated version of what the puppets and stuff would look like, and man, it's chef kiss good. Be cool. Production is way better now than it was back then. So imagine that.
I know people won't know what we're talking about, but I'll link some of this stuff. I recently rewatched it all.
Hey, I'll do you a favor. I will let you, because this is quote unquote a short episode. We're at a little over half an hour now. But I'll let you like straight up put one of those videos at the end of this thing if you really feel like it.
I might. I rewatched them
put
all
the
recently.
Mountains of Madness trailer on the back there.
Yes. So you know what's kind of crazy about that is like I rewatched it all of it, even the blooper stuff that's on my old channel.
Right.
And I got to the Mountains of Madness, and I'm like, man, we were getting into a groove to where it was like we were messing around with different tactics of how to approach this.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we stop? Why did we stop?
Because
I know we had a whole
to move back
discussion.
into my parents' place. That's why we had to stop.
Oh, okay.
Remember, like that?
Yes, I remember now. I remember now.
There's all this family drama going on, and I had to. It's just like, oh, I literally can't afford this apartment by myself. I gotta go back, move in with my parents. That's literally what happened. But like, man, I want to do a history show of podcasts of that whole thing.
Discussion because I have so many
our
good memories of that.
And everything.
I will put the trailer in though at the end of this.
Yeah, just go ahead and put the trailer at the end of this episode, so you can look forward to that. Congratulations.
That was kind of the peak.
Oh yeah,
and I think
we
could have went higher than that because the software I was using at the time, it was limited, but I was going to film school at that time, and like the things I can do now, I was looking at, I'm like, oh man. We could go nuts with this if we really, really wanted to. That was the first, if you watch the other episodes, none of them are green screen. This was our first version, and I know we were having a debate at that time where it was like, but we like the authenticity of like having to create these things and have multiple arms have to do this versus green screen, we can piece these parts in together. And I personally, I think it's all just good. I think it's all just like, even if they're just like, we create an awesome scene and use green screen, it's just going to look all good because we're going to make a big O scene and then it'll have all these little increment, small details throughout the whole thing. Yeah. That'll just look good.
You know, but all of that stuff we did with the puppet shows, right? That was definitely in the Steve Odekirk thumb movies school of everything. And,
but it had our own flavor to it.
I remember there were so many people when we came out with that first episode of it. It's just like, oh no, I can see your hands holding the sticks in the shot. And it's just like, yes, that's on purpose. And it's just like, and how much I'm so glad how much of that just fades to the background. It's just like you have your hands holding the sticks of the puppets in the shot. And when people are watching it, by the time we got to the second episode, people just tuned that all out and were invested into the little puppets that were in there. It didn't matter. We didn't need to camouflage anything. And I was just like, hey, that is so cool that you can look at a bunch of paper dolls on sticks and then just tune out all of the hands and stuff that anybody else would be like, oh, you got to edit that out or green screen it or whatever. And we didn't do that. And because of that choice, it's charming on so many more levels. I love it.
That was kind of the comedy of it too.
Right.
It was just like, oh, there's the hand. Kind of the Joker's like, oh,
and
well,
that bugged some people. That really bugged some people. But
I remember you telling me that, but I was just like, but it's a puppet show. It's fine if it's in there.
Yeah.
I thought one of the most, oh shoot, I had a point. I was going to, I
most
forgot.
people just forgot the hands were even in the shot, which is amazing. I don't know how they do that.
The second video, people were like, oh yeah, that's there.
Yeah.
I feel like you should take all these and make a playlist.
Well, I talk about people didn't like it. There. It was while in production, right? While we're filming it, they're like, oh, we need to do another take. Your hand was in that shot. It's just like, no, that's fine. And it's just like, look, I really don't think you're taking this brief.
I remember what I was going to say is during the production of Team America, and I was re-looking at, because I just bought that movie recently, and I was watching it, and I'm just like, when they do hand-to-hand combat, or when they just show them walking away, it's like really dumb. And it's just like, the puppeteers were like, oh, hey, we can do better. And the two guys that made South Park turned around and said, oh, no. That's kind of just the hilarious. Actually, yeah, do worse. Because they were like, hey, we can like make them do like cool karate kicks and all that. They're like, no, just bang them together. Because it just, and then rewatching it, and then not only rewatching it, but I went and found like couples watching the film for the first time. Like, oh, my wife hasn't seen it, or my husband hasn't seen it. Those are the parts that get the most laughs. Like, not just the comedy of it, but when, like, they take a serious moment and they're like, we're gonna fight, all right? And then they go, it's just clashing together. Or when somebody walks away in that weird puppet way, it's just like, that's perfect.
Cliff Action
that's what that reminds me
the
of.
alligators. Remember that?
Yes, and then we just flip them over.
Amazing World of Gumball has an amazing skit in there where it's, I don't know, it was something George, Karate George or something like that.
Karate George.
And he had, like, they did the whole, like, puppets on paper puppets on sticks style, and it was just like, yeah, that was good stuff, where it's just like, oh yeah, here's the bad guy and here's the good guy, and you just smack them up against each other until one of them falls down, and it's just, that's just as good. You knew they were fighting. I don't need to explain that to you. But I hate to move us on, but I think we should move on to the.
I know this is a horror themed thing, but we're also just like I feel like this is kind of our, hey, this is our peek behind the curtain podcast, and we get to just kind of hang out and talk about whatever.
And I think you guys do deserve an explanation, the audience.
Yes. Sorry to devolve into our old history of like where we came from, but you might start seeing that, and I think it'd be cool for you guys to see some of the old thing, our roots, I guess you can say. So that's why I bring some of those things up.
YouTube has just been, I don't know, like either I'm a legal idiot and I've been trafficking in copyright material without knowing it, or YouTube is being a horrible monster and I am a victim, and you guys should give me money. One of those two things. But that's not the only problem we've been having. You've also been having. There's been stuff going on
in personal
YouTube.
life.
Yeah, so, do you want to get into that? I'll let you.
Reasons involving family, and such. With that I will not get into. All you guys need to know is it's family oriented, and I just had to drop everything and take care of it. But we want to stay communicative with you guys. And also, we want to encourage you, if you are a viewer and you want to stay updated, is to definitely keep updated with the Instagram, because that's where we're going to put up announcements, and that will also be linked in the description. And I'm actually going to go back to all the videos and throw that link in there, just so it's there. And I do want us to start mentioning that at the end of our videos is the Instagram and the Rumble account. And they will be linked in all the videos from now on, since now we're up and running with pretty much everything, I believe. Yeah, pretty much everything at this point. Also, I'm going to try and employ, I'm going to see how it's going to work, but a link tree, which should have everything there, so you can see all the platforms we're on. But I need to see what goes into that, so I'm investigating that as of this week, I guess you could say.
I know one person who has a link tree, and they are very satisfied with it.
Also, I will be linking my OnlyFans account, so you can see all my feet pics there.
Oh my gosh, don't even joke about that.
No, I'm just kidding.
They're tasteful feet pics. There's a sock and everything. You know, it's
Sorry,
just like there's nothing more appealing than looking at a nice snuggly foot.
We will also, for the Halloween season, be doing zombie feet pics, so decayed feet pics of zombies. So yeah, going on with the theme.
He's joking, guys. He's joking. I swear.
Yeah, totally. I won't just send them raw pictures of my feet.
So, and you guys can also look forward to the next episode, which is going to be, I believe, it's going to be one of my dealies.
Yes, your
Basement Resident. Yeah, it's going to be Basement Resident Season 2, Episode 2.
I'm excited to see while I work on the next couples play, and
I gotta be honest, I gotta find a third slot real quick, because I'm not gonna be doing Ultra Q, and I've been very lazy, so I haven't picked a new thing.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I leave that up to you and your creative nature. I mean, as you have seen with this channel, I've taken my creative nature and just created one-off review stuff. Also, I did not announce this. This was a thing that I have been planning for a while, but I just sprung it. You want to explain yourself,
one-off
Mr. Plays.
One-off plays.
So that is just like horror game content, and I will actually, let's talk about this for a quick sec.
Okay, yeah, I'm into it.
So, I understand why Markiplier and Jacksepticeye scream the way they do when they play these things. And like, because I don't know if you noticed, and we haven't talked about this actually. You and I haven't talked about this at all as far as like the episode and anything, just because I've been busy. First of all, what'd you think of that? Is just like,
I loved it.
Okay, I record for 20 minutes or 30, just playing these horror demos, and I have the headphones on, and it's just like it's all in your ears, and I'm like, okay, must be how they feel, but they got a big room they can yell and scream in. I have a roommate next door, so the first time I heard him wake up, and I'm like, oh, I feel really bad. Or no, it wasn't the first time. It was the second time when like I really freaked out. And I was like, oh shoot, I'm doing all these tropes that they did in their early videos when they first all took off, and I'm like, oh no, I'm doing the same thing too. I just fell into it just because I'm not used to playing a horror game like that. Now, for those of you that don't know, I do have a sound system hooked up to my laptop. So, and I didn't want that echoing into the microphone, so I just plugged in my headphones, and then quickly realized it moves from just like, yeah, it's over there, like which is a foot from me, to like it's in my ears. So I'm just like, when you throw in a person running past the camera really quick and screaming, I was like, oh, that made me freak out too. I was like, oh shoot, okay, I need to rethink all this, because I forgot this happens, and that's why you see people freak out. I guess. I still think some of them exaggerate. Markiplier. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think Markiplier's really cooled off.
I think so too. I still see him do his stuff during his, what was it, 3 horror games? 3 scary games, that's what it was. 3 scary games.
Yeah.
I still like watching both him and Jacksepticeye's videos of just playing horror games. But yeah, I don't...
Still looking forward to those movies. I'm still looking forward to Iron Lung.
Me too.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was able to show the Iron Lung trailer like a bajillion times in that one episode without a problem.
Yeah, which that tells me just Markiplier isn't stingy. Either that or the pixels were not big enough.
Okay.
So maybe the pixels weren't big enough. I don't know.
I also think that if you show a trailer in your thing, I think that's automatically okayed for some weird reason. I don't know.
You know what would be cool?
Laws are weird.
Is if they just chalk that up into advertising and just made it cool. But I don't know. I don't know if anybody's paying attention to that.
I don't expect Markiplier to play me or pay me for the 14 people who watch that video. You know what? This is the thing. Oh, I say 14. It's more like 60 now, isn't it?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend to be like a big YouTuber. If there's only 60 people that watch the video, there's only 60 people that watch the video. Last time I checked, there was only 14 people that watched my last episode, So I'm just like, yeah, sure. So some extra people will hop on and enjoy it for sure. And maybe some people that already like it rewatch it again. And in which case, you guys are definitely, anybody who watches any of my things twice, you are definitely the person that video was made for. For sure. If you liked it so much you watched it a second time, or heck, you liked it so much that you shared it with a friend, that means something. That means a lot to me, actually.
That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah. But I'm not going to lie to myself and say, we got 1 million subscribers. Like, no, we're not that big.
We really aren't. And I think everything at this point is just homegrown. And it's like, you know what? Okay. I was hoping we'd be a little bit bigger at this point. Or, honestly, a little bit more on the feedback, which is just like the last video, the couples play, we got, hey, 1 note, and the note was more Jacob stuff.
Yes. And we already talked about that. That's your fault, isn't it? And more Jacob stuff is coming.
I turned around and I said, oh yeah, because I know we've talked, so I know you've got stuff planned. So I'm like, oh yeah, there's stuff planned. So, it'll be fun to see us all kind of diversify. Like, I've already diversified myself by adding the one-off stuff. Yeah. And then now it is your turn, sir.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I gotta say this. The one thing that is sabotaging us more than anything else is the fact we both do videos and gaming. There is, like, every single person I've talked to about this is just like, hey, Jacob, this whole doing both double dipping, that's not good. You're not going to get a lot of views like that. And I'm just like, well, that's not the point. We're doing whatever. We're making things that we think are fun. So it still bugs him, though. It bugs him a lot that it's just like, you mean you care more about making a thing that you like than getting a bunch of views? And I'm like, yep, that's a decision we came to very recently. It's shockingly how recent we've come to that realization. But it's just like, yeah, we're making this thing to make stuff. We're not making this to get a bunch of views. That being said, that doesn't make it when YouTube removes one of those things we worked hard on and says nobody can see your thing. That kind of breaks my heart.
The issue I have kind of with whoever has said the thing that you're saying you said or they said is we played different games.
2 people so far.
You wouldn't have picked up the demo that I played. I did. I know that's not really up your wheelhouse, and the games you showed are they're different.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't play that one.
Yeah, so sure. I think I think our differences on the things we like to play, it's they're video games, but they're gonna be different content as far as video games go. So you'll the games I know you will pull up will be different than the games I'm going to pull up. So that would be my counter argument
I
to that.
I have your permission to do a one-off plays myself, right?
Oh, yeah.
So all that being said, I think it's just guys, look forward to things. I guess that's pretty much all we have to talk about tonight, unless there's something I'm forgetting.
Things are brewing, and I will say, we got dinged a little bit and a little discouraged by YouTube, but as much as that's there, it hasn't disturbed our creativity of the things that we are going to do and the plans that we have. And we even Ashley and I have things we talked about couples reviews, but it's not just going to be about movies, and it's not just going to be about games. So, and what that is, I'm not going to say just because I'm going to spring it on everybody. And I think it'll be fun.
You don't have to spring it on everybody your thing, but I can spring on everybody my thing. No, I changed my mind. I don't want to spring anybody on my thing either. Oh no, not even on you. It's gonna be a surprise. I'm gonna send you a video either next week or the week after that, and you're gonna be like, "Wait, you want this on the channel?" And I'm like, "Yes, please and thank you." But of course, yes.
Sophistication's coming back. Let me spin my water in my cup.
Quite. All right, but
I'm still amazed the power hasn't cut out. By the way,
hey, Hillary threw 2 branches at you. You don't need any more of that stuff. You went through the trials. All right, but all that being said, I guess I'll bid everybody a good night, or unless it's daytime, in which case, good afternoon. And enjoy this little puppet show at the end of this video. You deserve it.
Yes, enjoy this, and also thank you for listening. For those who stick and actually care about the podcast and care about our channel and how we're doing and what we're doing, thank you so much for listening. And go back to whatever ghouls and goblins and monsters you're fighting in whatever mansion you're in.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
I need you to go to the Arctic with me. No. But I got a drill.
Well then, let's do all the things you want to do. Alrighty then, this seems like a really cool place to hang out. What he said?
Ugh, I found something in the ice. Ugh, it's a penguin. Isn't he adorable? Meh.
Do you remember how to fly this thing? Oh, that's alright. I can fly. I can fly anything. There's something on the rainbow.
Ooh, cat fight! Bye.